The moment you've all been waiting for. The Instagram course you've always wanted to take, but always thought should be free. I got you. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you everything I know about Instagram, filling your brain with knowledge about everything Instagram. Let's get straight on into it. Yo, what's going on, Tropic here, back with banger. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys the full guide to grow from 0 to 100,000 followers. This is going to be my course for you guys for Instagram. I've done tons of videos, but I'm going to compile everything that I've talked about in the past and things maybe I haven't talked about and put it all in one video so you guys have everything you will ever need to know about Instagram in this video. I'm going to start at the very beginning talking about what a theme page is, how to set one up, how to post, how to get followers, how to find content, how to go viral, how to hit the explore page, how to grow 5,000 followers a week, or properly do the follow unfollow method when you're starting up your account, how to increase your engagement, more engagement hacks, story talk, how to monetize, and how to not get burnt out and grow exponentially all the way up to 100K. This is Instagram theme page course video. It's not a personal brand video or for creators. However, if you are a creator and influencer, you may find some of these tips very helpful. Timestamps down below so you can hop around the video and find out what you need to know. Although you can skip around through this video, I highly recommend you watch it all the way through because I have tips in different sections that I don't talk about in other sections because they would be repeated. So you definitely want to, if possible, watch this video all the way through because then you get the full experience and not miss out on a single tip that may help you grow even more. So what exactly is an Instagram theme page? Instagram theme page is simply where you have your page built around a niche. I'm going to give an example here. For instance, you're in the teen relatable niche. Want to, of course, post content based around relatable teen memes, videos, reels, posts, whatever the case may be. And with this theme page, you're going to be taking viral content and just reposting it. You're not really going to be creating any of your own content. If you want to have your own page like that, that would be more of a branded page. However, what I'm talking about in today's video will be applicable to a brand page because a lot of times on a brand page, you will be reposting content, but you're still going to be creating content a lot of the time unless you're going to be a full-time creator for your brand. Sometimes you'll see that a lot in the wealth niche where every single post they do has their branding on it. It's custom. For a theme page, it is simply reposting content. Alright, so now we know what a theme page is. How do you pick a niche? Well, there's two ways you can go about this. You can go for a easy to grow niche, or you can go for a more profitable niche. The more profitable the niche is, the more saturated it is. So for a couple of examples, easy niche would be TikTok dances, sports, cars, and right now, quotes is a really big one. That's the kind of motivational niche. Now that one's a little bit harder to grow in. But if you guys have seen those reels, they're going off with the tweets on them and then the background video. That is absolutely blowing up on Instagram across pretty much every niche. You see that for the basketball niche, you see that for general motivational stuff, you see that for baseball, people doing that. You got theme pages with artists doing that as well. I'm mixing some song lyrics too for that. Now for the more profitable niches, that's gonna be pretty obvious. You're gonna have the wealth niche, the health niche, fashion niche, and there are a couple others as well. Alright, so now it's time to set up your theme page. It's going to be a fairly simple process. In this hypothetical account that we're creating here, relatable teens, you come up with a username, a bio, and a logo. So for the logo, I suggest going on to Canva. You can make something there, or you can just kind of find something that's stupid, find a meme related to maybe your niche and do that if it's applicable. Most of the time it's not though, so I'd recommend kind of setting up a professional logo, doing that based off of your username, and your username is going to have to be very simplistic. It needs to be short, simple, memorable. So I'm just going to make something up right now. I have no idea if this is taken or not, but bad example would be Relate Teen 2021 X. The way you can maybe get creative with it is by using numbers for specific letters. So maybe like 1 for L, 0 for O, just to get a little more creative with it because sometimes, a lot of usernames are very hard to find. And especially if you think of something good, but it's taken, you can use that to maybe get around that. So I would only suggest ever using numbers if it's within the word that you have. I would never add it to the end or in the middle or anything like that. And don't use underscores. If you're going to use something to space it out, use a dot. Series that I'm running on my channel, starting a business on Instagram, I have my motivational page, affluent.est. So that's affluent.establishment basically. Do affluent.co, that one was taken, but affluent.co would be affluent.company. There's some short abbreviations you can do for specific niches that would make a little more sense. Be as creative as possible when coming up with your username. For my username, I'm going to say it's Relateen. For the bio, I like to have it, first line would be an emoji. The 3 things that best describe your page. Maybe you could put an established in there, like when you started the page if you want. templates. Don't really recommend doing that, but you can. You can maybe have you could have a line in there that kind of just best describes your page as well, and then you can have your call to action follow at, your page's name or daily content. For Relate Teen, I would then have follow at Relate Teen for daily relatable teen memes or something like that. And then below that, if when you get to the point of when you're going to be selling stuff, then you'll have a call to action to go to link in your bio. Now, as far as the name, this kind of goes with the bio in the sense that you can have the 3 best things that describe your page, because you're not going to want to have it as the name, username. You're going to want to have it as things that people can search up. Page will actually show up in the search results. Could be those 3 things if it fits. If not, it would just be one thing. So for our example, it would just be relatable teens or something like that. All right, so to start growing on Instagram, there's one thing you must do before you do the follow for unfollow method. You want to make a few posts to make your page look like you've been doing it for a little while, and it's not just a brand new account with no posts, because nobody's going to want to follow that account. So when posting, you're going to need to have good hashtags, good captions. Find hashtags. I use the ladder strategy, so you're going to be wanting to find hashtags related to your content in some way, shape, or form. You're going to want to have the majority of your hashtags between the 10 to 100,000 post range if possible. Not try to keep it under 500,000, and then you're going to want to have a few that are the big ones that have the millions. The reason why we do this is because if you're going to rank on the small hashtags, then you will rank on the bigger ones. And if that post continues to go viral, we'll start working its way up and ranking on all those other hashtags. And if people follow those hashtags, they'll show up in their feed if it's, really doing well. When you're looking at hashtags and you want to see what hashtags are doing well, if you view your insights, you're not going to see anything that tells you about those hashtags. So what you can do is you can promote it. You can pay $1. You're not actually going to be paying $1, but when you set it up on Facebook, you get all that stuff set up, you can then see which hashtags are giving you the best reach. That's a pro tip right there. So for captions, always try to get engagement. You're going to be wanting to do this by asking a question. You misspell something, you can something controversial, or you can even say something just completely stupid or something very obviously wrong. You're going to get a lot of hate comments, but it's going to get you free engagement, so you're just going to kind of have to take that. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Once you have that, what I like to do personally is then after I have my little line, I also always like to put an emoji at the end, not too many, usually just one. I very rarely do not have a caption without emoji right after what I say, and I like to do a dash below that, so I'll return it, dash, and then I like to have follow at my page for more, or what I'll do is I'll have follow at my page for daily content, so for daily relatable teen memes, something like that, and then I have it again low but without that. I like to have it twice because pressing in that area, you're going to end up on your page. That's what you want, so that way you can get that profile visit, and once you have that, that good bio, everything looks clean, looks very nice, you see the logo, everything looks good, you have that really good chance of getting that follow. Then below that, I will put another dash typically, and then I will also have via, so that way you always got to give credit where you're taking your content from. Very simple. And then that's it for your caption. Alright, now how do you get followers? We grow on Instagram. You got to get off the ground somehow, starting from 0 to grow all the way to 100,000. How do you get your foot on that first rung? Follow method, I use multiple ways to go about getting these followers. First way is you can go to your theme page's most recent posts, follow all the people who like that post. Another way to do this is you can go to their worst performing posts, follow all the people that like that, because those people are their most loyal followers. Also go to the comment section. You got to be careful with this because a lot of pages do have bots in their comment section, or they have power comment groups. Yes, that's still a thing in 2021, so be careful with that. So make sure you do your research when you do follow people who comment. You want to follow those people because they're not only they're most likely liking, but also engaging with the content, and they're commenting. That means they're a very high quality follow. Now if you really want to get specific, you can follow just private accounts, because that forces the person to look at your account in order for them to follow, in order for you to follow. You're getting guaranteed eyes on your profile. But most of the time I'm just too lazy and I just follow as many people as possible, and so you do not get action blocked. Max amount of people I'd recommend following is about 50 to 100 in a sitting, in about 250-ish per day. It really depends on how old your account is, how stupid Instagram is being, because it's different for every account. It just really is. I found that out the hard way, so push it, but be careful. You're going to be doing this follow method all the way up until to above 1,000 followers. Typically, you're going to need to be at around 2,500 followers. However, hopefully you have some posts that will go off between the 1,000 to 2,500 follower mark. You don't have to keep following, because if you kept doing that, sometimes you may have to go all up to 5,000, 6,000 following, and that's way too much. Now, what some people do, and I don't do this because I think it takes too many actions, and you got to be extremely careful with it, especially if you're running multiple pages at once, is you will do a ton of followings, and then you will do some unfollowings to keep that following number low so your account doesn't look spammy. And I think that does definitely get a higher conversion rate, but for me, us growing multiple accounts, it's very hard to do that many actions in a day without getting banned. If you're going to be doing that following, unfollowing, I'd always try to keep it under 1,000. Once you're 1,000, it looks a little weird, so just keep it under 1,000 and you'll be good. If you're going to follow as many people as possible, don't go over 5,000. That is the absolute max. Let me talk about how to unfollow people properly, because you can get banned, and I've gotten banned many times, and this is because I don't take my own advice. So when you're unfollowing people, you're going to want to do 50 when you wake up, 50 during the middle of the day, be 50 at dinner time, and possibly then a 50 before you go to bed. There's about 4 times you can log on a day, and you can unfollow about 200 people. I found that that is like the safest range, the best way to unfollow. You do not want to do too many at once, and when you're unfollowing people, try to do it with the least interactive. That gives you a better chance of not getting action blocked and then eventually possibly banned. When you get banned for a week, and you may lose some of your other accounts too. That always happens to me. So try to follow that pattern and you'll be a-okay. Alright, so now that we've talked about how to follow, unfollow, and get your first few thousand followers so you can get to that range where your posts will hit the explore page, let's talk about how to find that content. You're going to need this just for your first few posts to get started, or you can even get the ball rolling off follow method. It's just going to be very simple. You're going to be looking at similar theme pages in your niche. You're not going to want to be going to the biggest ones. You're going to want to go to the ones that are middle tier, so around anywhere between 15 to 50,000 followers. You're going to take a look at all their posts, see which ones did the best for them within the last 2 weeks, and just repost the ones that did the best. Now, there are also a couple of ways to find good content. And you can be careful if this thing that you're reposting has been posted so many times in the last 2 weeks, or it's something that's continually being reposted every few months. It's probably not going to do too well on your page because so many eyes have seen it. So try to find something that maybe you haven't seen that much, or try to find something that's trending, that's new, that you can repost, or something you haven't seen in a while that's going viral again. You can hop on that as well. And another thing is, what I like to do is I will see, when I see posts going viral, and I have other posts that I'm posting right now, I will save them. I will repost them a couple months later. Typically 8 to 10 weeks later gives you a good shot where people kind of forget about it, but then, it's in the back of their minds if they've seen it. If they haven't, then it's really good for you because it was a proven winner and it can do it again for sure. Now, how to actually download that content? There are different apps on iOS. I think it's still available in the App Store. I don't know. I use this app called InSaver. Works amazing. You can download everything. You can download slideshows. You get the captions. It works amazing. Once you have your content that can go viral, how do you actually make that content go viral? Well, like we talked about before with captions, you're going to want to always try to drive engagement. Once you have a few comments, you're always going to want to reply to comments. It doesn't always need to be, something interactive where you take a ton of time and you try to get them to respond back to you. What I like to do is I'll just reply with a heart emoji or just an emoji in general. Let them know, hey, you appreciate the comment. Instagram sees another comment being added onto your post, and that's always a good thing. You can't really control shares or saves, but sometimes if you have a caption, you'll say save for later, a little call to action for that may help. If it's something that, you'd actually really want people to save for later that makes sense for them to do it, you would say that just as your main cap. Some people like to add it in their caption somewhere down the line. They have a big thing like tag your friends, do this, do that, do that. They just have way too many call to actions. I like to keep my captions simple, like I talked about before. Very simple question to drive engagement, very simple follow, and then where I got it from. You can do it your own way where you might add in 1 to 2 more call to actions. Just try not to go too crazy. So hopefully you got some high quality followers from that follow method I talked about. If you did it properly, you should. And these followers will help you get your post to do well, to hit the explore page, which will eventually help it to go viral. Now in the beginning, it's extremely crucial that you get your followers up as quickly as possible to get to that 2,500 mark so you can hit the explore page. Now, Reels is a specific topic I would love to talk about here because that is the huge thing on Instagram. It's really the main thing nowadays, and it's the fastest way to grow for sure. However, Reels followers are not always the best. They do not always actively engage with your posts or even your new Reels. I found that out. Your engagement sometimes from those Reels followers kind of sucks, no matter what you do sometimes. Before we get into talking about Reels and growing 5,000 followers a week with power of Reels, let's talk about just hitting the explore page in general. As we just talked about, getting that content to go viral and getting your followers to like that post as soon as possible will help that post get onto the explore page. Now, as long as you have good hashtags that are also helping the post out and it's getting good reach from the hashtags, you're getting good reach from your home feed. More followers see it in their home feed and they engage with it to be shown to more and more people on the home feed. Then at some point, Instagram's going to put that on the explore page. And as long as those people like it, they spend a good amount of time on the post. Slideshow posts are a great way to get people to spend more time on a post. As long as it's good content and they're swiping through, you spend more. It's like watch time on YouTube. I talked about this before on the channel, or I talked about always on the channel. You spend more time scrolling, and if it's a video too, and they watch it all the way through, Instagram sees they like that. They like that post. If there's even some replays, Instagram really likes it, and they're gonna keep promoting it. How many times do you post a day? Well, this is very simple. When in the beginning, I like to post 3 times a day, so I might do a reel, a video, and a post, and just keep it in that same order or whatever, and just kind of go with that same thing, so that way you hit all 3 types of posts. And then once you start to get a few thousand followers, I like to tone it back down to 2, sometimes even 1. I always do 2 at the same time, but I know it's best if you kind of space it out throughout the day. Ideally, I post just 2 times because you don't want to clog up their feed too much if they see one person's not going to get all 3 of your posts. So it's kind of decreasing your chances of getting an explore page because your posts are not going to be liked by as many people on the home feed. And that's a crucial step to getting on the explore page. So posting 2 times at a specific time is extremely important. You can see all that in your analytics. Different niches have different times when followers are on. I know for my sports pages, nighttime is usually the best. Anywhere between like 6 to 9 p.m. is typically the best range. That will definitely help you get on the explore page. That's a secret hack. Right, so now we talked about the explore page. Let's talk about how to grow 5,000 followers a week with Instagram Reels. Everything I've talked about as far as content and captions applies to Reels. You're going to want to do the exact same. When you're starting off growing your page, no matter what, you're going to want to be doing Reels. You're going to want to have posts, you're going to have normal videos, you're going to have normal posts, you're going to have Reels. You're going to have all 3 because in my experience, I definitely think having a page that has all 3 is best. Doing an all Reels page, not usually good because then when you post normal posts, it kind of sucks. Typically, I like to try to have all 3. As I mentioned before, posting Instagram Reels when you're below 1,000 followers, you absolutely need to do it still. You know, they're most likely not going to blow up. However, there can be that one that blows up and skyrockets you way past that 1,000 follower mark, past the 2,500 follower mark, and even to the 3,000 follower mark. Will help your page overall, where now you can get your other posts to start hitting the explore page. Now, if you're running a specific page where you're just going to be actually posting normal posts and videos or just straight up photos, I highly recommend that you still post Reels if you can. If you're in that right niche, all niches have Reels. You're going to want to find those Reels and then of course post them on your page, but don't share them to the feed. You share them just to the Reels Explore, and these actually do fairly well, especially even when you're under 1,000 followers. So make sure you take advantage of that. You can get some free growth that will help normal posts do better in the long run. However, those followers are not going to be very well engaged to your normal post because they followed because of that reel, and they're not really there for that content that you're posting normally. So keep that in mind. You may have some dead followers there, but it will get you past that that point where now, hey, your other posts can get on the explore page because you have that follower requirement mark where Instagram sees you a little more credible. But getting these reels to blow up follows the exact same way that I talked about how to get on the explore page. It's having those captions, getting that engagement. Trend is absolutely your friend. And even doing remixes now. You see these videos on Instagram now. It is a personal page. Somebody has 5 reels, and then just one of them is a remix with a trendy reel, and it goes absolutely berserk. It gets 2 million views out of nowhere. They get maybe 1,000 or 2 followers from it. Try experimenting, remixing. Don't want to use your face. Try to figure out a way. People just repost, like, they'll remix the reel with the same reel. I don't really know how that works. I haven't messed around remixing. New Instagram feature, and anytime Instagram has a new feature, you definitely want to take advantage of it because it's usually going to give you an engagement boost in some way, shape, or form. So try to use remixes and any other new feature Instagram comes out with. That's why when you grow a personal page, posting reels is a secret strategy that will help grow your page. But once you start getting a couple reels that get over 100,000 views and you get that consistently week after week, you're going to be getting thousands of followers a week with no problem. Now, one thing to keep in mind is reels usually don't go off in the beginning, like the first week. It does take a little while, maybe 2 weeks, even 3 weeks sometimes, and then it has a little bit shorter of a span to go off. Typically what I've seen is the 2 to 3 week mark is where you have your best shot at the reel going off. However, there are rare cases where it'll go off in the beginning or go off way at the end, you know, more towards a month, which isn't as likely that it'll go off. Anywhere between that 1.5 to 2.5 week is probably the sweet spot for getting reels to go off. So just keep that in mind when you post the reels, that initially, you know, you're not going to get insane results right off the bat. Now, how do you increase engagement? Well, I've talked about a couple strategies already so far. That's mainly through the captions, and that's through replying to comments. And a secret hack is using your stories properly. This is an engagement hack. I'm going to kind of tie engagement stories and engagement hacks all into one here. Power of stories, I think, is extremely undervalued. You want to post polls. You want to post interactive things on your story. You want to post just simple text sometimes on your story too. But polls with a normal photo or a black screen does really well. Having a poll above, like you share a post post to your story. A lot of people do this just to have a story out for their story, and I do this a ton because I want to have a story out there. And between like 10 to 20,000 followers, you're going to get like 1,000 views. Really, your most loyal people, they're just going to see that story. But first, you want to take advantage and get upwards of 5,000 story views. And using polls will absolutely help that. So just do polls related to your content as much as possible, and then once you run out of ideas for that, just do polls in general. Ask them, do you like pizza? Like, just something really stupid. Love to share their opinion and vote on polls. So take advantage of that, because not only the more people see your profile pop up on their stories, the more they're going to see that in their home feed. Keeping relevant content. So if you're running a page where you can post a little more news or something, do that and maybe put your opinion on it. And then another secret hack is to have where people can swipe up and share the response. So they might do an emoji, they might just say something and respond to your story. And this will help you get more engagement on the stories, which of course will then eventually help you get more views on your posts. The reason for this is you get more interactions with your posts. So that's why you do the polls. That's why you do maybe a quiz. Take advantage of the features that Instagram gives you, because Instagram wants you to use those features, use those, and it helps you out a lot. Alright, so here's the ones you've been waiting for. How do you monetize your Instagram feed page? So I have multiple ways. I had a video on my channel that went over 10 different ways to monetize your Instagram page. I'm just going to go over them in a high level here. Of course, the first one being shoutouts. You're going to have pages reach out to you. The more shoutouts you post, the more advertisements you post, the more people who want to promote stuff, and they see that, they're going to be more likely to do it, because, hey, and if people are paying for that, it must be working for them. And if you're doing it multiple times, it kind of be a little bit of a snowball effect. I mean, even if you're going to keep a post out there for 24 hours, people see that. Of course, most people don't like those advertisements, but these shoutouts, great way to make some income. Using the plug app is another great way. There's the Heartbeat app. You can partner with different brands. There's Brand Ambassador, another app. There's affiliate marketing. However, I'm kind of against that. I tried that for a week, a little more than a week. Not worked out too well for me. There's having your own course, selling your own merch, stuff like that. And probably the best way is to dropship and to build a brand, have a store, and sell your own products. I think that's the absolute best way to make money on Instagram, but that's just my personal opinion. And now that you're growing, you have tens of thousands of followers, you keep going. Now you have tens of thousands of followers, you have a couple hundred posts, your page is doing well, and you might have another page doing the same thing. You have multiple pages going on right now, or you're starting a new one. Maybe that one's a little more exciting than this one, or you're just kind of getting tired of running Instagram pages. You don't want to get burnt out. What you can do, getting tired for it, is just take a break. Very simple, maybe go 1 to 2 weeks, pay somebody on Fiverr to just run your pages for a couple weeks. They're not really going to screw up your page. They're going to, claim that they can make a page better.
You're not that guy.
More likely, you get slightly worse results as long as you follow my tips, because they don't really know everything that I teach.
Are you? Absolutely.
They're gonna be doing the same thing you're doing, and you can get a good break, or you can just have a friend do it. Make sure it's a trusted friend, though. Of course, you gotta be careful, when you're giving out your password. But just take a break from it. I wouldn't recommend not posting at all. You want to post every single day. The more you post, the better chance you have get a post to go viral. And that viral post can be that one post gets your page to blow up and become a recognizable page in the niche space that you're in. And if you think like you're stuck and you don't really like it, sell the page, start up a new one. You can definitely get some decent money if you guys want to buy and sell Instagram accounts. I'm not going to go into that in this video. I have a specific video for that on my channel. I'm not going to go over that because that's not really a part of the growing 0 to 100K. But I do have a video on that. But staying consistent and just doing, your 2 posts a day, going on for 10 minutes, on that account, and maybe going back to your personal or whatever, logging at Instagram for a little bit, doing a little post, it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to mess with you mentally. It might get a little tiring, a little annoying. You're like, oh, I got to, do my post. But when your page is doing really well, it's exciting, because then you feel like, hey, this post might do really well too. And then, you get a little excited. So that does help. So when your page starts to slow down, it does get a little mentally straining. But just know there's always going to be peaks and valleys in Instagram, just like in life. You're going to have times when your page is just going absolutely nuts. And there's going to be times when, you're not going to be reaching as many people, and it's just not going to go as well. It's not really because your fault. You're doing, the same thing you've always been doing, using the same captions, same hashtags, same strategy. Everything you're doing is the same. It's just not working out, but that's just kind of the way it is sometimes. So stay consistent, stick with it, and you'll be fine. So as far as timelines, though, I want to talk about that really quick. What's your goal? Should be for reaching certain milestones. 1K, ideally under 3 weeks. You're going to be doing it really fast. You're going to be doing it in under 2 weeks. 10K, you're going to want to try to get that under 10 weeks. 25K under 20 months. 25K under 20 weeks. There, it's all about getting your reels to consistently go off and your posts to consistently hit the explore page. I definitely think it's possible to get 100K under a year, especially if you're growing 5K a week, which you can get for a period of time. I don't think 5K a week is sustainable for months on end. Otherwise, you'd be growing extremely fast, and you get to 100K in no time. I don't think that's possible, for a long period of time. Like I was just saying, though, it's peaks and valleys, so you might have a really good month where you get 20,000 followers, but the next month you're only going to get maybe 5,000. And that's okay. But 100K, definitely possible unless you get really lucky. Year and a half is a lot more likely though. Anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy this video. I give you guys every single thing I know on Instagram. I also have some other videos on the channel. Might go a little bit more in depth on some topics that I've talked about here in this video. I try to go as in depth as possible without making this video super long and drawn out. I give you guys a bunch of information and jam pack it all into this video. So check out my other video. The channel is all about trying to make money online. Of course, Instagram is a big part of that. I do a lot of crypto videos too, so check those out as well. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I will catch you all in the next one.